Hey, so I got a kind of a lengthy, layered question that's really good that I would like to answer because about a year ago I was in the same spot. I'm gonna go bullet by bullet, so bear with me. Hopefully, she can edit this and make it not awful. How easy is it to set up? And so that's why we went with the all-in-one because it's incredibly easy to set up. Take it out of the box. If you have an extra battery, you plug the extra battery in. You plug this into the wall or your solar, and you're set up. So I wanted to work with something that simple, right? That's why I preferred this over the build your own stuff that everybody does. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but the bits that make this particular system work is our solar panel mounts, solar panels. We have adapters for all the panels to plug into. That plugs into a wire that comes in, which plugs into the power station. And so for the solar side, that's all it takes. I am about to add some inline fuses to be safe. I've been riding dirty. Do as I say, not as I do. Be safe. Don't wait so long to add fuses. On the output side, this is where it can get a little bit more complicated. I also am not an electrician and I don't want to burn my house down, so I hired an electrician. And what we did was we installed a twist lock with a 30 amp plug with 4 circuits. We chose our most important 4 circuits that we would like to power easily from this station in an outage, and we wired them here. Once the electrician did the hard part, all I have to do is plug this bad boy in to here with your average generator plug cable, flip the breakers off on the house, on our sub panel, and that's it. What brought this whole thing about was that we needed to power the shop. So how I chose this versus how you might choose what you're using is different. For me, I wanted at least 5,000 watt hours of battery storage. This combined gives a little over 7. I wanted something that could handle surge loads on a 30 amp or 50 amp plug, which was, especially with a 50 amp plug, even though it doesn't put out 50 amps, that really, really limited it. So this was the best, strongest power station at the best price with a 50 amp plug at the time. And I watch a lot of videos, Will Prowse, Solar Lab, just everyone you could think of. I watched every review I could until I was pretty confident in my choice, and I went with the Anker F3800. The trick is the system itself is cheaper, but man, the price per watt hour on the expansion batteries, that's where they get you. So be careful. We actually pulled this off the shop because we don't use a ton of power all the time. It's just little bits and bobs right now with the lights, the door opener, which only runs for a few seconds, some fans, and a TV. So this inverter was actually too big for what we were using it for. So we brought it over to the house to do our backup. And then that transitioned into, we would like to power things all the time, trying to balance the fact that this is our emergency backup power. So I don't want to run so much on this daily that it drains the battery below 50%. I want to keep this kind of charged up just in case we do lose power at any time. And so that's something to factor as well. The biggest thing for choosing your power station is identifying your goals, realistic goals. Take the watts of what you want to run, do your multiplication on that. If it's a 300 watt appliance, it's going to use 300 watts per hour. It'll probably surge slightly when you turn it on. And so take all the things that you want to run, add the wattage together, times it by an hour. And this is very rough math, but within that time frame, you know how much battery you would need to run it if you're not collecting sun or if it's not plugged in. And from there, you can kind of start to take and add and remove things on your journey of picking your power station. An important thing to consider, just like I considered it, but I didn't realize how impactful it would be. They push updates to make this have less idle consumption. But as you go up with your inverter size, it's handy because it can power more stuff. But just being on the unit itself will use more energy just to stay on with the inverter on, which is why we ended up going with a smaller station in the garage because it draws less at idle, and that fits the use case over there more. And since we want to use this daily and we have solar constantly coming in, this is not affected as much. Prices are going to be wildly different nowadays compared to what we paid, but I used military discount at Home Depot on Black Friday, and I want to say I got the F3800 plus the expansion battery for about 4,000, right? And then I have a few $100s in mounts. I have about $200 in cables, call it another $100 miscellaneous. And then we paid $600 to have to purchase this box and have it installed by an electrician. And that is, well, solar panels too. A couple $100 for solar panels, depending on what you're going to use. If you're going to use portable, or if you're going to buy fixed, large cell panels. But the power station itself, that's the breakdown of what it took to plug it in and get it working. So I know you said you wanted to save money by doing it yourself. The power station all-in-one kind of eliminates the need for a lot of the DIY, which is awesome. Where you can save money is installing your own solar panels and trenching your own wire over. But if you're like me, like you said, you're not an electrician, I would leave this part to a pro, unless you read up on it and get really confident with it. I don't feel confident with it. I could do it in an emergency, probably, but for day to day, and for this type of system where I just want to plug it in and forget about it, I would rather have a clean professional install that I know is done right. Thanks for your question. Hopefully we hit on all your key points. If you have any other questions or stuff you want to know, just give us a shout and hopefully we can help you out.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.
Yep.
You have to say it.
Oh, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.